The wealthy heiress received a meeting gift from her rural husband. Seeing it covered in fish scales, she thought it was fish guts, but when she forced herself to open it, she found 7 or 8 gold bracelets inside. At that moment, her mother-in-law loudly scolded her son for buying such worthless junk. So the son immediately took out another small box, and inside were nothing but large diamonds. The girl was instantly stunned. Is your family really in the fish business? Yes. It turned out the girl was originally a wealthy widow who had been abandoned by her in-laws. Left with no choice, she started delivering food. On the way, she happened to help a fishmonger who was being falsely accused in a scam. But before the young man could even ask her name, she had already left. But moments later, her wealthy family sent someone to bring her back home. It turned out that her sister-in-law had a childhood engagement with a rural fish-selling family. So the family forced the girl to marry in her sister-in-law's place, allowing the sister-in-law to marry into a wealthy family instead. On the wedding day, the sister-in-law was picked up in a Rolls Royce, while the girl's husband's family only sent a minivan. The sister-in-law mocked, saying, "Even the car smells like fish." But the girl didn't mind at all and got into the car. As soon as she arrived at her husband's house, a hen suddenly flew out, startling her so much that she quickly stepped back, only to step on the rooster. Her mother-in-law came out enthusiastically to greet her, warmly taking her hand and leading her inside for a meal. When the girl saw them using silver chopsticks, she wondered, is this how things are done in the countryside now? Looking again, the table was filled with delicacies like bird's nest, king crab, and abalone. But her mother-in-law simply said these were everyday dishes. Just as she was puzzled, her husband came back riding a small 3-wheeler. The two exchanged a glance and immediately recognized that her new husband was actually the fish vendor she had helped out a few days ago. Seeing that it was the girl, the husband stood there in a daze. It wasn't until his mother reminded him that he remembered to give his wife a meeting gift, and then he pulled out a present from his apron.
I didn't know what you liked, so I bought a bit of everything.
When the girl saw fish scales still on the red cloth, she felt embarrassed. But then she thought, since they're married, even if it were fish guts, she'd accept it with a smile. She never expected that, upon opening it, she'd find a pile of gold bracelets.
This heavy pile, it's all gold.
Isn't this a little bit too tacky for our purposes? I'll go out and buy something else entirely.
No, that's not quite it.
Seeing the girl's expression, the mother-in-law also thought she didn't like it. She immediately said that her son had low emotional intelligence and didn't know what the girl liked, then turned to scold her son. Haven't I always told you not to be stingy? Not to be stingy with money, and you go and buy this pile of junk back? When the girl heard this, she was shocked that someone would call gold junk, and she was so surprised she could barely speak. Then her husband took out another box. When the girl opened it, her jaw almost dropped. It was a box full of diamonds, and not just cheap little ones either.
These are all diamonds.
You don't like these ones either?
Oh dear, let's just get divorced. We're country folks, our conditions aren't great, and we don't understand romance. Please be more understanding.
The girl wondered to herself, is this family really in the fish business? The mother-in-law said that their family had been fish farmers for generations. Then the husband suggested taking the girl to see the farm.
That area over there is our chicken farm, and that one is the pig farm. Once you cross this mountain, you'll find the cattle and sheep, and this area here is the fish farm. And also...
Wait, are you saying that this whole area on this side of the mountain and the other side too, all belong to the Goo family's farms?
Well, to be precise, our Goo family has contracted 80% of the land suitable for farming.
Then the husband said that he was very grateful to the girl for helping him last time, and he never expected fate would bring her to his side. He even took out a bank card and handed it to her.
There are a few $100 million on this card. Take it and spend as you like, but let me know if you need more.
Huh? A few $100 million just as pocket money?
It is a bit little. But since you're my wife, once I gather all my money together, I'll hand it all over to you to manage.
Only then did the girl realize that she hadn't married into an ordinary family. When she got home and saw her mother-in-law drying fish on the hood of a Rolls Royce, her worldview was once again turned upside down. That night, after her husband finished his shower and entered the room, the girl shyly covered her eyes, not expecting that the next second he would slowly approach her. Just as the girl thought something was about to happen, her straightforward husband instead asked if her face was so red because she was sick. Annoyed, the girl slapped his clueless self to the floor, and so the two spent the night, one on the bed, the other on the floor. But the sister-in-law, who had married into a wealthy family as she wished, wasn't having an easy time. When she massaged her mother-in-law with the wrong pressure, she got slapped. Her mother-in-law warned her that if she didn't behave, the family shouldn't even think about winning the Wanhua Chamber of Commerce election that afternoon. Meanwhile, after finishing her food delivery run, the girl was called by her husband to a lavish banquet. Dressed in her work uniform, she felt very out of place. Unexpectedly, her sister-in-law and husband were there too. Upon seeing her, the sister-in-law immediately called out to her and deliberately told her husband that the girl was actually the family's maid. Then she snatched the wine glass from the girl's hand and splashed it right in her face. The girl was furious and said she was just there waiting for someone. But her sister-in-law retorted that everyone present was a business elite. What was a food delivery girl doing there waiting for someone? She mocked the girl, saying she must be waiting for a fishmonger. Unable to stand it, the girl shot back, asking what's wrong with selling fish. Immediately, the sister-in-law falsely accused the girl of stealing, then turned to her husband and complained that if they upset the business association president today, they couldn't afford the consequences. Her clueless husband, hearing this, instantly ordered his subordinates to search the girl. Let go of me, what did she do wrong? Just because you have money, does that mean you can do whatever you want? At this point, no matter how the girl tried to explain, it was all in vain. But in the next second, the sister-in-law spotted the gold bracelet on the girl's wrist and immediately concluded that it was something the girl had stolen. However, the girl explained that it was a gift from her husband when they first met. The sister-in-law weighed it in her hand and remarked that it was at least 100 grams, worth no less than 60 or 70,000. How could a mere fishmonger possibly afford it? Yet just as the girl was struggling, a diamond necklace fell from her neck. The sister-in-law picked it up and was utterly stunned, exclaiming that this was the one and only angel's wing in the world, worth over 50 million. Even I can't bear to buy such an expensive luxury item. How could you possibly have it? After hearing this, all the guests present also believed that the girl must have stolen it. Then the sister-in-law prepared to take the girl away. You totally deserve it for playing that kind of game. What do you think you're doing?